Hi friends, I'm Katie Brinkley and you're listening to Rocky Mountain Marketing. With nearly 2 decades helping business owners, consultants, and coaches with their digital marketing, I know that social media can be an incredible tool to grow your business when you know how to do it the right way. And that's what we're going to do today. I teach you how to navigate the world of entrepreneurship and digital marketing, and hopefully you'll grow your business with a few great tips you wouldn't have known otherwise, and maybe even discover a great local business you love. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Happy 2023, everyone. Here we are, a new year, new goals. And for me, this is something where I had a hard time when I first started my business. Well, I had a hard time doing a lot of things when I first started my business, but I had a hard time setting goals as I started my business. It really wasn't until around the pandemic, around 2020, that I sat down and I was like, well, I want to have a podcast. I want to do that. I want to hire my first employee. I want to do all these things. And that's when I really started my goal setting. And fun fact, I don't know if it's that fun, but I mean, up until 2022, I didn't even have a social media platform. It's funny going back and thinking about this. It's one of those, the cobbler has no shoes sort of deals. But I was so burnt out after creating content for my clients that I didn't have the energy to think of what I wanted to post, of what I should be putting out there, of what my branding was. What was it that made me different? And again, going back to the cobbler has no shoes scenario, I mean, it's definitely, if I was paying myself to do my social media, I would be my worst clients, because for me, it's something that it takes a lot of energy out of me. And as I create all this content for different clients and for my coaching clients, sit down and strategize with them, it can seem super overwhelming. So I think that I at least have that in place now. I have my podcast. I have my team here at Next Step Social. But with goal setting, that was something that I'd kind of always just put on the back burner. And tell me if you're with me on this for yourself, as you've built your business. Sometimes setting goals can be a little scary, right? I mean, as you're setting these goals, as you're creating these goals, it can seem a little overwhelming. I have to get this done. What if I don't? Have I failed? And that's where I don't like to put a lot of numbers on a lot of the goals that I try to reach. Again, for me, it's for 2022, one of my goals was to start speaking at more in-person or live events. And I wanted to just do I said I wanted to do 2. And I didn't say it had to be this many people in attendance or it needed to be in state or out of state, because I wanted to temper my own expectations, because I wanted to be able to achieve those goals. I spoke at 5 in-person events last year, and I also continued speaking on virtual events. And I think that was, for me, it was something that was a really good lesson, because not only did I achieve that goal, I exceeded the goal. As we sit back and think on 2022, I'm wondering, did you set out your goals? Do you do it for the full year? And if you do it for the full year, did you achieve all of your goals? As we go into 2023, I'm actually not doing yearly goals. I'm doing daily and quarterly goals. So for my daily goals, I want to start journaling more. For those of you that are regular listeners of the podcast, you know that I have had my fair share of guests on the show who talk about the benefits of journaling and how it's good for your mindset. It's good as a business owner. And I just sat there and I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. It feels like a time suck for me. I just can't bring myself to sit down and spend the time to write things out. Well, folks, you heard it here first. That is my daily goal for 2023, to journal every day. It doesn't need to be 12 pages of journaling. It can just be one line. I think that that's where, for me, it's all about building this consistent habit of these daily journals, just getting used to writing something in there. And then I can go back and see what I've accomplished, where I was at, a month ago, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, as I go back through the journal. So journaling is something that I'm going to be implementing in my 2023 goals. Another one of my goals for 2023 is to not speak as much. 5 in-person events was a lot for me. And as those of you regular listeners of the podcast, I've got 2 little girls at home, and God bless them, they still think mom is cool. So they like it when I'm around. So being gone for these events really took a toll. Speaking at them and going to different events. I also went to 2 different events that were out of state for networking and for learning and for growth. And that's one thing that I still want to be able to do. So I'm going to Social Media Marketing World in March, just as an attendee. And I want to go to one more event as just an attendee in 2023, but I still want to be able to speak. So I'm going to scale back and maybe do 3 in-person events for 2023. This year, I have already signed up for, I'm speaking at PodFest in January in Orlando. Any of you that are interested in going to that, let me know. I do have a discount code. So I will be speaking at PodFest about how to implement system and processes for your podcast. I'm also speaking at CEX, which is the Creator Economy Expo, which is in Ohio in May. And that event I'm really looking forward to. Joe Pelusi, who is an incredible creator. He has a podcast, and this is his event. And I'm really honored to be speaking at CEX in May. So that leaves just one more event for me. And I think that you have to look at what has worked for you in the past. And sometimes it might be like 2022, where you've exceeded your goals, you've exceeded your expectations. And now how can you take what you've learned from that? Did it work for you? Did it work for your business? Did it, generate revenue? Was it worth your time? Because folks, that really is the most important asset of you, is your time. So what have you taken from 2022 that you are going to learn from so that you can apply it to your 2023 goals? I also, one thing that I did not do when I first started my business was have a word. And this was something that I didn't even do it, but I started it in 2021 and I didn't really stick with it. And then I did it again in 2022 and then I didn't stick with it. 2023 is the year that I am going to stick with my word. My word of the year is intention. And as you could probably just guess from what I'm implementing for 2023 with my yearly goals or quarterly goals with speaking less, is taking that step back and saying to myself, what's the intention behind this? Because yours truly has a habit of saying yes. If you always say no, then you're limiting yourself from possibilities. What could happen if you did say yes? And that's the way I've always lived my life, of saying yes. You never want to say no because you never know what opportunity can happen. But this year, I'm not saying that I'm going to say no, but I'm going to take pause and say to myself, what is the intention behind me going to this event? What's the intention for me to go be a guest on this podcast? And that is one of the things that I think that we all need to do with our businesses is, what is the intention behind the action that you are going to take? Will it provide results for you and your business? Will it provide new revenue, new opportunities? Is it just going to be a major time suck? So take that step back. And I'm curious, if you do implement a word for your business, for yourself each year, what is it? Let me know over on social media. Just shoot me a DM over on the gram or on LinkedIn. I'd love to know what your word is. Mine, again, is intention. I also want you to take my word for 2023 of intention. And I want you to apply it to your social media. I want you to take it to your online presence. What is the intention behind you showing up and creating content? Because let's be real here. It is a lot of work. What is your intention behind that post? What's your intention behind that blog post, that like that you're giving to somebody else? As we spend more and more time on social media, in front of our screens, away from the real life that is happening around us every day, what is the intention behind you opening up that app, behind you going and checking it just one more time? What's the intention? I think that all of us, and that I've been talking about this now for the better half of 2022, of posting less on social media. You don't need to show up every single day. You don't need to post, 5 reels or TikToks a week. As a business owner, what's in it for you? What's the intention behind all of that time creating that content? Because as you show up more and more on social media, yeah, it does get easier. It builds out the confidence of, this is what I talk about. This is who I serve. This is the problem I'm solving for them. This is what I do. So the more you show up, yeah, it becomes easier, but it still is time. So if you're creating content just to create content, if you're sharing videos of your cat dancing or somebody rollerblading in the park, what's the intention behind that? What's in it for your customer? Yeah, you went ahead and created a post, but is it bringing in the leads? Is it bringing in the business? Is it giving your audience the opportunity to build that know, like, and trust factor with you? So I want you to take this time as we go into 2023, think about what your goals are. I honestly hope that it is to show up on social media less. And I know it's always interesting as I say this to people because we spend so much, one is what I do, but two, it's a way of connecting. I mean, I met, my business bestie, Kendra, on social media. I met my friend Carol on social media. I've made great connections in the podcast world because of social media. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't take that as the opportunity to network with people, outside of your walls and outside of your state and outside of in real life events. But I'm saying that when you open up that app, when you open up Instagram or LinkedIn, what's the intention for it? And this is something that I actually learned with Clubhouse very early on, because when Clubhouse first came out, man, there was some times I'm not going to lie, I want to say maybe the second week that I was on there, I spent about 12 hours one day on Clubhouse. And for the pandemic, I think that Clubhouse really was a godsend because it allowed us to have opportunities to speak with people that we never would have, met or stumbled across or had the opportunity to get to know. But here we are in a quote unquote room together, having this amazing conversation with someone that lives in California and Texas and New York and Denver. And we all were in this space together after being cooped up for months. So Clubhouse, I think, was a great opportunity for us to meet new people. But it very quickly showed me after that 12-hour day about what a big mess it could be, what a big time suck it really was. What was I getting out of it? Was I making quality connections, or was I just listening to a super long conference call with a bunch of strangers? So I took that step back with Clubhouse, and I went in to every single room with intention. Okay, I'm listening to this room to hear what my ideal clients and customers' problems are. That's what I'm going to go do here in this room. I'm not going to take the stage. I'm just going to listen for a while. I'm going to take some notes. I'm going to see who the people are that are on the stage. I'm going to try and connect with those that I feel are within my realm. Like they get what I'm selling. They get what I'm saying, that I'm in alignment with them. I'm going to connect with them on LinkedIn or Instagram. I took those times that I was on Clubhouse with intention. How was I going to have this room? If I was going to be on stage speaking, what were the key takeaways that my audience was going to have from it? And I think that with that, I was only, again, Clubhouse, folks, was a different time, but I was only on it for maybe 2 hours a day, maybe 3, listening. I mean, 2 is way less than 12. So how can you show up on your social media with intention? So that way, when you open up Instagram, when you open up LinkedIn, you're commenting on other people's posts, you're engaging with your ideal clients and customers, you're creating 3 posts a week, but it's value driven and it's giving the people that are new to you more insight into what it is that you're all about, what you can offer them. And they're showing up in your DMs, they're showing up on your calendar because they've been watching you from the sidelines for a while and they're ready to say, okay, put me in. I am ready to do business with you. So take that time this 2023 and steal my word of intention and apply it to your social media. I want you all to take that step back and post less. And believe it or not, I think it's actually going to build more business. For those of you that are interested in building more business, I invite you all to Social Profit Lab, which is going to be February 21st through 24th, 2023. I've brought together over 40 speakers, giving you the insights and the education into that one small thing in your business that could have massive results. If there's something in your business that you say, yeah, well, I was on LinkedIn, but all I ended up doing was getting a bunch of spammers. LinkedIn didn't work for me. Well, I've brought together 3 experts from LinkedIn to give you different strategies on how to optimize that platform for your business. Or maybe you want to grow this year and you want to know, hey, am I delegating the right way as I grow? I've brought in someone to speak about delegation strategies to grow your business. So 4 days, 40 speakers. Day 1 is the leadership and the foundations to make sure that you are running your business effectively. Day 2 is building your audience. Day 3 is creating content for your audience. And day 4, we are talking about selling. How are you showing up? You've been posting to Instagram regularly. You've been posting to LinkedIn. You have an email list. You have a blog. You have a podcast, whatever. But it's still not generating leads per se. Well, that's where day 4 is going to be full of how to generate leads and how to have those calls. So that way, every time that you show up for a sales call is actually going to be an offer call. Grab your ticket, go to socialprofitlab.com/waitlist and secure your seat today. Again, it's free. So I would love to have you there. With that, we'll see you all in the next episode. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Make sure to subscribe so that you can continue navigating the world of entrepreneurship. And I'd love to hear from you. Please leave the show a review and connect with me on social media. You can find me on Instagram at @IamKatieBrinkley or connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you're ready to start making some sales on social media, be sure to grab my free guide to selling in the DMs without being spammy. You can get that at katiebrinkley.com. Let's keep taking your marketing to all new heights.